Hello, my viewers. Morning. Thank you. Uh, we have come back again. We want to continue with our talks. As we started last week, last week we were talking about acceptance, and today I want us to look about communication. How do people communicate in marriage? Communication, it's very important in marriage, because in communication you are able to understand one another. You cannot understand one another without communicating. You need to communicate about the issues. You need to communicate about everything. There's nothing that you can do without communicating to one another. Communication, it's important, as the way that blood is important in one's body, because the blood keeps the body alive. Communication keeps the marriage alive. That is why you have to communicate at all the time. Proverbs 16:24 says, God help us to build up others with our words today. God help us to be gracious with our words. And in communication, we need to be very careful with the words that we use as we are talking to one another. We must care what others people feel when we speak to them. Communication is the heart of the marriage. Without communication, marriage cannot work. In everything, we need to communicate to one another. And communication is talking to one another. You are able to understand one another as you communicate. You are able to solve problems in communication. And you are able even to understand your partner better when you communicate. When there is no communication, that's why people separate. At times, you think of issues that are not there. When there is no communication, somebody tends to think an alternative with the other partner. And we see 90% of the marriages that break, it's because there is no communication. Remember, without communicating to your partner, you cannot understand or you cannot know what she is thinking or he is thinking. Even when there is the issue of misunderstanding, you need to talk and agree, point out those issues so that your partner, so that you can be able to understand your partner better. In marriage or in communication, no one rules. It's not that we are competing to one another when we are trying to communicate. No, we are trying to let others know our points, where we are coming from, what we need, what we expect, and what is there for us. Even when there is a difference, we need to communicate, and communicate with words that are going to build one another, not threatening one another, or accusing one another. You don't have to accuse your partner. You don't have to threaten your partner. No, but talk and agree. You talk, you disagree, but at one point you still come to an agreement. Why? Because you are one. The Word of God tells us that when you get married or you got married, you became one. And because you are one, nothing that can be impossible. Only accept that everything is possible and we can sort out even when there is a disagreement. Nothing that you can say it is impossible. Nothing, it is impossible. Totally nothing. There are ways, ama kuna njia mingi za watu kucommunicate. We see even in the Bible, Rebecca used communication as a she used this to manipulate her husband. And we can remember how he used Jacob to manipulate the dad so that he can receive the blessing. And Adam, when they were caught and they did what they were not supposed to do, Adam started accusing the wife and saying, "It's the woman that you gave me." That is still part of communication with people. But for us to have healthy marriage, you don't have to accuse your partner. You don't have to manipulate your partner. But you need to understand your partner. And there's no way you can understand your partner without talking to him or talking to her about the issues, about the different that it is there, so that you are able to understand him better. And you are able to talk about what is not happening. Even when it comes to those people that we get them as house help in our houses. I remember when I was having the house help. Thank God that I have a husband who used to understand me, and every time he could tell me, "Ongea na huyo msichana." When we come in the back at home at night after work, and we realize there are things that has not been done, he used to tell me, "Talk to your girl. You don't have to accuse her of anything. Ufai hata kumtetesa. Ongea na yeye. And you'll be able to understand why things were not done the way they were supposed to be done." People have different personalities. And at times personalities can also be a problem. There are people, they are naturally quiet. Ni wale wananyamazanga. And because you know your partner better, you can be able to tell what a kind of a person she is. Kama ni mtu wa kuongea, kama ni mtu wa kunyamaza, saa ile amekosewa ama saa ile hataki kuongea. You need to understand her. And when you understand her, you'll be able to tell whether she has a problem or he has a problem. And that one can only come when you understand the personality of your partner. There are other people who also have a problem of self-esteem. Just because of the background, traditionally, they have been brought up, probably been told, you don't have to talk, you are talking too much, you are not worthy, haufai. Na hii yote inaleta shida katika marriage. When you don't understand your partner, you need to understand from how or he or she was brought up. The background, the traditional. How did she grow up? Did she grow up with both parents? Did she grow up being person that always has been that person that she's ever or he is ever accused? Been told, keep quiet, you don't know how to talk, you cannot talk. And that one also affects. And when you understand about someone's background, you are able to help him or her. If she has an issue of self-esteem, you can help her and her esteem can be raised. You don't have to cause her to feel insecure or to have insecurity. There are people who feel, probably even before they got married, she or he had issue of insecurity. Probably she had other relationship, or he had other relationship, and the partners could just leave them just like that. And that one can also affect.